Eli had never thought of himself as special. He was just a human boy, small, thin, and not particularly strong. On the sprawling starship Aurora, among towering aliens with scales, wings, or multiple limbs, he often felt like a child in a forest of giants. Yet, he carried something that none of them had noticed: a kind heart. A heart that never measured worth by strength or size. The crew was on a mission to explore the planet Zerathia, a world known for its dangerous terrain and proud, warlike species called the Zerathians. They were enormous beings, their skin patterned like cracked stone, and their voices rumbled like distant thunder. The humans and other alien species of the crew had always treated Zerathians with caution. But Eli, he approached everything with curiosity and care. It started the moment their shuttle touched down. The crew stepped onto the alien surface, boots sinking slightly into red dust. Around them, the Zerathian city loomed tall towers of dark stone, adorned with glowing crystals. The air smelled sharp and metallic, and strange creatures skittered across the ground. The Zerathians themselves watched from a distance, their massive eyes narrowing. "Remember," Captain Taran said to the crew, "don't provoke them. They respect strength. Be careful." Eli listened. But he also noticed something else. A small Zerathian child, no bigger than him, was lying by the rocks, clearly hurt. Its leg was twisted awkwardly. The other Zerathian adults paid it no mind. They were busy talking in low growls and moving about. Without thinking of protocol or danger, Eli walked over. He knelt beside the child. "Are you okay?" he asked gently. The child blinked at him, confused by the small human's voice. "Don't touch it!" One of the nearby Zerathians barked, its voice booming. "Humans are weak. Only danger comes from them." Eli ignored the warning. He examined the leg, careful not to hurt the child more. "It's okay. I just want to help." Some of the taller Zerathians laughed a sound like rolling boulders. "Ha! The human thinks kindness is strength," one shouted. "Pathetic." Eli looked up at them, calm. "Kindness is not weakness. Sometimes it is the strongest thing of all." The Zerathians scoffed. They had never seen a human stand so quietly while being mocked. One of them stepped closer, towering over Eli. Its face, rough and jagged, twisted in amusement. "Watch carefully, child. You will see strength soon. Ours." But Eli did not back down. He helped the injured child to its feet, supporting it gently. "Let's get you somewhere safe," he said. A few moments later, the captain noticed Eli and frowned. "Boy, be careful. These are dangerous aliens. Don't put yourself at risk." Eli simply smiled. "I'm not afraid. I want to help." As the humans and aliens mingled in the city, Eli's actions drew attention not just from the mocking Zerathians, but from a quiet observer. A young Zerathian girl, about Eli's age and appearance, had been watching him. Her eyes, deep amber like molten gold, followed his every move. She did not laugh. She did not mock. There was something in the way Eli treated the injured child, in the gentle patience of his hands, that made her pause. Her name was Lyra, though no one outside her family knew it. She was pretending to be a common citizen, hiding her royal identity. Even so, she had authority in her presence, an aura of quiet power that most could not sense. Today, though, she was simply a girl curious about the human boy. The crew was then led to a Zerathian trial arena, a massive circle of stone and crystal. It was there the Zerathians tested the worth of outsiders. Eli's captain stepped forward confidently. Followed by the crew, the aliens' laughter echoed off the walls. "You will prove your strength," a Zerathian elder boomed. "Only the worthy may walk among us freely." Eli watched as his larger companions flexed and prepared. They were ready to fight, to show brute strength. Eli's own limbs were thin. He had no muscle to match the towering aliens. He felt nervous for a moment, but then he remembered the child he had helped. Strength was not just in fighting. Sometimes it was in thinking, in caring, In acting wisely, the first challenge was physical. Crossing a series of jagged stone platforms suspended over a glowing pit. Other humans hesitated, but Eli simply observed carefully. He noticed small cracks in the stones, loose edges. He helped guide a terrified alien from his crew, pointing out stable paths. One by one, the group crossed safely. Some Zarathians frowned, not understanding why Eli's cautious approach worked better than raw speed or power. The second challenge involved a puzzle, an ancient Zarathian mechanism with glowing runes. It required cooperation to solve, not force. Here, Eli's quiet nature shined. He encouraged his team, listening to their ideas and suggesting simple adjustments. Slowly, the mechanism clicked into place. A section of the arena shifted, revealing the next path. Through it all, the mocking Zarathians began to notice something strange. The human boy, small and seemingly fragile, was helping others succeed where brute strength might have failed. Whispers spread among them. Perhaps humans are different. Lyra, observing in silence, felt a flicker of hope. There was something special about Eli. Perhaps the elders had been wrong about humans. She could see it in the way his companions trusted him, in the way he smiled without fear, even when mocked. Later, the crew was given a rest period. Eli wandered slightly away, discovering a small Zarathian garden filled with glowing plants. There, he found a wounded, Zarathian bird-like creature, caught in vines. Without hesitation, he gently freed it, carefully untangling the vines with his fingers. A few Zarathian children watched him. They whispered among themselves, "Why does he help? Why doesn't he fight us?" Eli looked at them kindly. "Because helping makes us stronger together. Strength is not only in fighting. Sometimes, the kindest action is the bravest." The words lingered, even though the children did not fully understand. They went back to tell their parents. The mocking Zarathians were silent now, some of them curious, some confused, others quietly angry. How could a weak human be so fearless? By evening, the crew gathered around a glowing lake, tired but safe. Eli sat quietly, feeding some stray alien creatures, humming softly. Lyra approached him, stepping carefully so as not to draw attention. You are strange," she said softly, her voice barely audible over the gentle hum of the lake. "Most humans are afraid here." Eli smiled. "I don't see fear as strength or weakness. I see it as something we can work with. You can be afraid and still do the right thing." Lyra studied him, her amber eyes reflecting the glow of the lake. She wanted to tell him who she really was, but it was not the right time. Instead, she simply said, "You are different." "I like that." Night fell, and the alien city shimmered with 1,000 glowing lights. Eli lay under the stars, thinking of the children he had helped, of the small creatures, and even of the mocking aliens. He wondered if they could understand him someday. Meanwhile, Lyra returned to her family quarters, her mind racing. There was something about the human boy that unsettled her elders. His kindness, his courage, his refusal to fight for dominance. It was dangerous in a way the Zarathians had never encountered. And yet, she felt hope. The first part of their story ended here, with the humans and aliens both unsettled, confused, and intrigued. Eli's journey had only begun. The boy who had been mocked for his kindness had planted a seed that would challenge centuries of Zarathian pride. And little did they know, the girl who had silently watched him was far more than she seemed. The stage was set. Challenges awaited, secrets would be revealed, and the boy's compassion would face trials far beyond simple kindness. But Eli did not know fear. He only knew that helping others, even in the face of mockery, was the path he would always choose. The sun rose over Zarathia like a fiery sentinel, casting red and gold light across the alien city. Eli stood among the crew, preparing for the second day of trials. The first day had left many Zarathians puzzled. A human, so small and weak by their standards, had helped others overcome challenges that seemed impossible. The elders murmured among themselves. Some were angry, others curious. How could this fragile being inspire cooperation, solve puzzles, and lead without striking a single blow? Eli, however, was unaware of the whispers. He only knew that helping others was the right thing to do. And today, the challenges would be far harder. Captain Turan gathered the crew. "Stay alert," he said. "They'll push harder now. Don't underestimate the Zarathians." Eli nodded. "I'm ready," he said quietly, though his mind was already thinking about the small Zarathian creatures he had helped the previous day. "If someone needs help, I'll be there." The first challenge was the Maze of Mirrors, a labyrinth filled with reflective surfaces and shifting walls. Many crew members rushed forward aggressively. Trying to force their way through, they became confused, running into dead ends and shouting in frustration. Eli paused. He looked carefully at the mirrors, noticing subtle differences, smudges, cracks, and reflections that did not match. He remembered the advice his mother once gave him. Observe first, understand, then act. Slowly, he guided a few nervous crew members, showing them which paths were safe. He helped a trembling alien, whose multiple legs got tangled in the mirror maze, untangle themselves without losing patience. Meanwhile, Lyra watched from above, perched on a hidden ledge of the maze. She admired the boy's calmness. Unlike the others, he did not rush. He did not boast. He simply thought and acted with care. "He is different," she whispered to herself. She began to see that he was not weak. He possessed a strength no Zarathian had ever recognized, the strength of empathy and intelligence. By the time the crew exited the maze, several Zarathians had gathered to watch. They were silent, their eyes narrowing. The human had guided his group through a challenge that demanded teamwork, patience, and observation qualities that the Zarathians rarely valued. The second challenge was more dangerous. The Crimson Ravine, a deep chasm filled with shifting rocks and glowing streams of energy. Each participant had to cross without falling. Many Zarathians simply leaped across with brute force, often stumbling or sliding on the unstable surfaces. Eli looked at the ravine and smiled faintly. He could jump, but that would be risky. Instead, he observed the rocks carefully, noticing patterns in their movements and the energy streams. He helped a small alien, struggling to cross, by pointing out stable rocks and timing jumps perfectly. "Human," one of the larger Zarathians grunted, anger flashing across its jagged face. "You are clever, but your weakness will fail you." Eli shrugged politely. "I'm not weak, I just see things differently." That afternoon, the trials were paused, giving the crew time to rest. Eli wandered slightly away from the others and found himself in a quiet courtyard filled with strange, luminous flowers. There, he found Lyra waiting for him. "You keep surprising them," she said softly. "Even your own crew is impressed." "Chound," Eli smiled, brushing dust from his clothes. "I don't try to impress anyone. I just help. That's all I can do." Lyra hesitated. She had watched Eli closely and now felt compelled to reveal her secret. "I should tell you. I am not just a girl here. I am the heir to the Zarathian throne. No one outside my family knows." Eli blinked. "The Queen?" he asked softly. Not sure if he understood. Lyra nodded. "Yes. I came here in disguise to understand my people, to see their hearts without fear or pride. And then I saw you. You inspire me, human boy. You show a strength that I have never seen in any Zarathian." Eli's heart pounded. He had never met royalty before. He had never even thought of himself as special. Yet here he was, talking to a girl who would one day rule a powerful species, and she admired his courage and kindness. "I don't know if I'm strong," he said honestly. "I just care." Lyra smiled. "Caring is strength. You will see, humans are more powerful than we ever imagined." Their conversation was cut short as the elders announced the final challenge of the day. The Trial of Unity. The Zarathians had designed a test, not of physical strength, but of cooperation and leadership. Groups of diverse species had to navigate a series of platforms suspended over a glowing river of molten crystal, while solving mechanical puzzles together. Many laughed at Eli. "The human will fail," one mocked. "He cannot lead us." Eli took a deep breath and stepped forward. "I can try," he said simply. The trial began. Platforms shifted dangerously. Some crew members panicked. Eli noticed one of the large Zarathians losing balance, ready to fall. Without hesitation, he grabbed its arm and steadied it. "Careful," he called. "Step here, not there." The other participants were surprised. Humans had never been so calm in dangerous situations. Slowly, the group began to follow his guidance, solving puzzles with surprising efficiency. Eli's encouragement gave them courage. His small voice, clear and calm, carried more authority than the roars of many Zarathians. Lyra watched from above, her heart swelling with pride. The boy did not know it, but his actions were changing the way her people saw strength. But then a sudden disaster struck. A massive platform began to tilt dangerously, threatening to dump several participants into the molten river below. Panic spread. Eli's mind raced. He spotted a mechanism above, a lever that could stabilize the platform, but it was too heavy for him alone. Without hesitation, he called to the other participants. "Everyone, push together, count to 3. The aliens hesitated. Some were still mocking, some were unsure. But the human boy's calm determination was infectious. Slowly, they obeyed, pushing the lever in unison. The platform stabilized, and no one fell. A stunned silence followed. Even the mocking Zarathians could not deny it. This small human had saved them. Not through violence, but through courage, intelligence, and collaboration. Lyra descended from her hiding place and joined Eli. "You did it," she said softly. "You saved them all." Eli shook his head. "We did it. Together." That evening, the crew returned to their quarters. The elders called a private meeting, their faces grim. "The human boy? He is not what we expected," one said. "He is changing the way our people think. We must observe him carefully." Meanwhile, Lyra approached Eli in secret. "You are more than just a boy," she whispered. "You are showing my people a way they have never seen. And you inspire me, in ways I cannot explain." Eli looked at her, unsure what to say. "I just do what I think is right." Lyra smiled, her eyes glowing softly. "Sometimes, doing what is right is the hardest and most powerful thing." For the first time, Eli felt truly proud of himself. He had been mocked, doubted, and ignored, but he had also helped others, protected the weak, and shown courage that no one could take away. As night fell over Zarathia, the stars reflected on the glowing river, and Eli lay down beneath them. He thought about the challenges ahead. He did not know what trials tomorrow would bring, but he knew one thing for certain: helping others, even when mocked, was a strength that could never be measured by size or power. And Lyra, hidden yet watching, felt hope stir in her heart. The boy she had observed, mocked for his kindness, was about to change everything. The second part of the story ended on a quiet, powerful note. Eli's courage and empathy were beginning to influence the Zarathians. The small human boy, laughed at by giants, was becoming a symbol of hope, and the hidden queen had chosen him, unknowingly, to help her shape a better future. Tomorrow, the final trial would begin, and the universe would see, perhaps for the first time, that human kindness was not weakness, but the greatest power of all. The morning sun cast a reddish glow over Zarathia, painting the towering alien city in shades of fire. Eli stood with the crew at the edge of the city, looking at the horizon where dark clouds swirled unnaturally. Something was wrong. The elders whispered nervously among themselves. The normally calm winds had turned into a violent, swirling storm. Lyra approached Eli, her amber eyes serious. "Eli, this is no ordinary storm. The planet's energy streams are unstable. If we don't act fast, the city could be destroyed. Eli's heart pounded. But he did not panic. He had faced challenges before. Each time, his kindness, patience, and careful thinking had guided him. Then we save it, he said firmly. We save everyone. The crew and the Zarathians gathered in the city square. Panic was spreading as smaller creatures ran in fear, and some aliens argued, unsure what to do. The elders looked helpless. Strength alone could not stop the disaster. Eli stepped forward, raising his voice. Everyone, listen. We need to work together. We can stabilize the energy streams, but we must cooperate. Follow my instructions, and no one will be hurt. The mocking Zarathians scoffed. A human boy tells us what to do? Laughable. One of them growled. Eli ignored them. Instead, he called to a group of aliens whose limbs were strong enough to move large rocks. Lift them here, quickly. We can use these to redirect the energy flow. Lyra joined him, quietly issuing commands in her royal authority. The other Zarathians recognized her voice and began to act immediately. Yet, even with her influence, chaos threatened to spread. Eli moved among the groups, encouraging, guiding, and helping wherever he could. One of the large Zarathians was panicking, afraid to approach a crackling energy stream. Eli approached calmly. I'll help you. Step here, and we'll move together. The alien hesitated, but Eli's calm confidence reassured it. Step by step, they redirected the energy safely. Others followed Eli's lead, moving rocks, guiding creatures, and stabilizing structures. Slowly, order returned. Amid the chaos, a section of the city began to collapse. A massive bridge of stone tilted dangerously, threatening to crush several aliens below. Eli noticed it instantly. Push to the left, all together, he shouted. The Zarathians hesitated, some still doubted a human boy's instructions, but his calmness inspired trust. They pushed as one, guided by Eli's clear voice. The bridge stabilized. Not a single life was lost. Lyra, observing Eli's actions, realized something extraordinary. This human boy, small, fragile by Zarathian standards, was leading them in a crisis where strength and aggression alone had failed. His kindness and courage were saving the planet. When the storm finally began to subside, the elders gathered. They were silent, awe written on their massive faces. They had seen it now. The boy they had mocked, the human they thought weak, had proven their strength could not match his. Lyra stepped forward, her presence commanding attention. She raised her voice so the crowd could hear. Enough. Enough. The city fell silent. Every creature, large and small, looked at her. I am Lyra, heir to the Zarathian throne, she announced. I have watched my people for many cycles. Today, I have seen something extraordinary. This human boy, Eli, has shown courage, wisdom, and kindness qualities that far surpass physical strength. He has saved lives when strength alone could not, and for that, he has my respect and my gratitude. Whispers spread through the crowd. Some Zarathians could not believe what they were hearing. The boy they had mocked, the human who seemed weak, was now praised by their queen. Eli stepped forward, feeling overwhelmed. He had never sought praise or power. He only wanted to help. Yet now, the entire city was looking at him. He took a deep breath and said, I didn't do this alone. Everyone worked together. We all helped. That's why we succeeded. Kindness, care, and teamwork, these make us stronger than any weapon. Lyra smiled. And that is exactly why you inspire me, Eli. You have shown my people that strength is not only measured in muscle or might. Strength is also measured in courage, in heart, and in the willingness to help others. The crowd erupted, some cheering, some gasping. The mocking Zarathians looked down, ashamed. They had believed that force and arrogance were supreme. But now they had seen another truth. From that day onward, the human boy became a symbol of hope and unity. The creatures of Zarathia, once divided by pride and fear, began to cooperate in ways they never had before. Cities were rebuilt, energy streams stabilized, and the small human's presence reminded everyone that compassion could be the greatest power of all. Lyra took Eli aside. "I want you to know," she said softly. "You are now an honorary guardian of Zarathia. Your actions have changed our future. You have my trust, and my people's trust. You have shown us that even a small being can make a huge difference." Eli blushed but smiled. "I just tried to help," he said. "I never imagined this." "You see, human," Lyra said gently, "this is why your kind is extraordinary. You care when others might not. You inspire when others might fear. That is why you are powerful. That is why your actions matter." As the stars appeared in the sky, Eli stood beside Lyra, looking out over the city he had helped save. The glowing towers reflected in his eyes. He realized that even though he had been mocked, misunderstood, and underestimated, he had stayed true to who he was. And that truth, his kindness, courage, and care, had changed an entire civilization. The Zarathians no longer saw him as weak. They saw him as a leader, a guide, and an example. The humans on the crew looked at Eli with newfound admiration. Even Captain Terran smiled. Quietly proud, Eli felt something he had never felt before. Pride, without arrogance. He had not sought recognition, but he had made a difference. That realization filled him with warmth and hope. Lyra turned to him, her eyes glowing softly. "Eli, one day, I hope you will see the galaxy as I see it now. A place where kindness can create more change than strength ever could. And you have shown that humans can lead in ways no one imagined." Eli nodded. "I just want to help. That's all I have ever wanted." Together, they walked through the city streets, seeing the Zarathians rebuild, help each other, and care for the small creatures that scurried about. Eli's small acts of kindness had multiplied into a wave of cooperation, respect, and unity. That night, as the stars shone brighter than ever over Zarathia, Lyra whispered, "You are not just a human, Eli. You are a part of our story now, and I believe, one day, your kind will inspire the entire galaxy." And desperately, Eli smiled, thinking of the journey he had taken from a boy mocked for his kindness to a hero admired by aliens and a queen. He had learned that true strength was not measured by how hard one could hit, but by how much one could care. And with that care, even the smallest being could change worlds. The Zarathians, humbled and inspired, began a new era. They would never forget the human boy who showed them the power of kindness, nor the quiet queen who recognized it. Together, they had proven that the universe could be changed not through fear or violence, but through compassion, courage, and unity. Eli looked up at the stars, feeling a quiet joy he had never known before. Somewhere in the vast galaxy, other challenges awaited. But now he knew one thing for certain. No matter how small, how weak, or how mocked, a kind heart could change everything. And in that truth, humanity's greatness was clear.